And here it is, folks, the fourth Grand Prix Series tournament for the candidates final to play Magnus Carlsen for the World Championship. My buddy from the U.S., Carl Nakamura, is in it. Don't miss any of the action. This is going to be a great tournament. Here is the lineup, folks, for the fourth in a series of FIDE Grand Prix tournaments. This one being played in Conti Mesquite from May 14th through the 26th. Look at this lineup. Fabiano Caruana, rated over 2,800, representing Italy, soon to represent the United States. And I'll make a point here, this fall, I guess he can change over to the U.S. He has dual citizenship. Out of the top 10 players in the world now, America represents 3 of them, since Wesley So from the Philippines switches federation to the U.S. Number 2, my buddy, Carl Nakamura. Almost 2,800. He went over the 2,800 mark about a month and a half ago. Great player. I expect a lot of good things from a Carl. His chance to get in the candidates final. Huge deal. Third, Alexander Grishuk. I think incredibly underrated. You don't hear a lot about Alexander, but I'll tell you, he's a top player. Young Anish Giri from the Netherlands. Another one to watch out for. Maxime LaGrave from France. Another great player. Sergei Karyakin, oh my God, another great player. Thomas Eski, who I believe is leading in points so far in the Grand Prix Series, another great player. Boris Gelfand, older but still got the guns. World Championship challenger against Vishy Anand, lost in a tiebreak. Jakovenko, another great player. Peter Fiedler, really interesting guy, another great player. We'll see which Peter shows up. If the good Peter shows up, he can be really tough. A guy I like personally, Leonardo Dominguez from Cuba, another great player. When he's playing on, he's on. And a really exciting player, Jobava from Georgia. You never know what the hell Jobava is going to do. The games are always fun to watch. And there's the lineup, folks, of the final Grand Prix tournament to determine the candidates to be in the final tournament to play for the World Championship. Don't miss any of the action. This is going to be great. Hi folks, John Cordisco back again. Sorry it's been a while. I've been keeping up with my videos. Been pretty busy here at my convenience store in upstate New York. And I'm also running in a local election, so it takes up a lot of your time. Life gets in the way of chess. Kind of sucks, but oh well. This is a game from round 5 of the fourth in a series of FIDE Grand Prix tournaments to determine who will play in the candidates final. And that winner will play for the World Championship. This game between Dmitry Jakovenko of Russia and Maxime LaGrave from France. See how this turns out. It's going to be English. Jakovenko is white. I'll call him MVL is black. Let's get to it. We're not really here for opening theory. Pawn. This is the last book move. E5, knight takes, queen takes, D3. Pretty nice setup. I like white's setup there. Ready to castle. His dark squared bishop is going to come out. Black's a little hot behind the development, but he is castled. Knight to C6 develops his minor piece. And H5, which is really interesting. I was really surprised at that move, and it's also the computer's choice. H5, bishop, pawn takes, H takes. If F had taken instead, after knight to G5, bishop F3, bishop takes, rook takes, knight takes, and you lose the rook. That was the computer's way of showing you what happens to take with the F pawn. Rook to H4, very interesting so far. We're only on move 12, and already this is a position that's very unique to me anyway. I've never seen an English like this before. White's starting to get behind in development now. Queen to D7, queen to A5. Computer shows a 2/3 of a pawn advantage for white, but I kind of like black a little bit, to tell you the truth. Bishop B6. Computer likes bishop B3, bishop D2. I kind of agree. Rook to H2 is the third choice of the computer. They're all close in score. That one I don't understand, frankly. I probably moved the bishop, but who might have second guess? One of the great players in the world. Knight e7. Decides to trade queens. And bishop to h6. Wants to get rid of the dark squared bishop. Computer thought it'd be interesting was f6. But after bishop takes, knight takes, picks up a pawn. The intermezzo move, so to speak. Technically, black is up a piece, but that's only temporary. So he gets to decide which piece he wants to get rid of. So he goes bishop b5, and the rook takes. Okay, white's up a pawn. Shows almost a point and a half advantage, though, for white. So maybe not castling was the right thing, and now his king's right in a good spot. Knight to f5. Rook goes back to h2 again. I mean, where else are you going to put it, right? It's in a dark square, guarding the bishop. Rook comes over, hitting the knight. Knight goes to g4. That's a good spot for that knight, of course, threatening the fork. Knight here, picking up the exchange. Just wondering after bishop takes b7. Rook, knight to g5. Rook takes, knight checks, queen. Knight takes. And bishop takes e8. What it comes down to is a rook and two pawns for two pieces. So that's an interesting scenario, but that's not what happened. Knight to g5. Knight to d4, getting your knight right up in the face of the white king. Easier for me to say. Knight checks, king moves, knight takes, rook takes. Now white is just in command here. He's up in exchange and a pawn. It's just dismal for MVL, and this is not like him at all. Knight takes c2. Bishop takes. Bishop takes d3. Okay. I don't like black's two isolated pawns. He's also down the exchange. But those minor pieces are right in white's face. Let's see how he does. Even with all those minor pieces around white's king, I think maybe MVL miscalculated because it looks pretty dangerous for white. But the computer shows it is close to a 2-point advantage for white. He's up the exchange, but of course he's got to go to g2. And of course you see why he can't check here, because this bishop is guarding the squares. So he hits the bishop, figures he's going to pick up a pawn. Decides to go rook to d1 instead. And after bishop, rook to d2, now he's hitting the knight. And where's the knight going to go? He can't go here. He could go here, but that's kind of pointless. So he decides to take the pawn, get something for it. King takes, rook takes. Of course, you're going to give up the piece. And here we are, rook to h4. Now, I don't know, let's just stop and look at this. White's got a heck of an advantage. He's going to double his rook soon. Yeah, he does have an extra pawn on the king side, but it's just going to be a little bit grinding here. Bishop b6, b3, just to blunt that. c6. I think he's trying to set up some kind of fortress, black is, just to hold on to a draw. But after rook to d8, rook b5, rook a4, these double rooks are just murder on him. Rook comes here, he's trying to get some counterplay desperately. King goes to f3, bishop checks, king to e3. Rook to c2. Rook takes. g5. It's just miserable for him. Rook to d6. It's almost resignable at any point here. Rook to b2. Rook a4. f6. I mean, what's black going to do? He's basically helpless. That rook has basically no scope on b2. b4. King g6. I'll be honest with you, I've never seen Maxime Vachier-Lagrave play this poorly. He's just having a bad day. a3. And now I think he makes the final mistake. The computer likes rook to b3, just trying to hold on. He goes king to f5, and that's the end of that. Rook blocks the bishop, and that's where finally MVL resigns. Give you an idea. After rook to b3 check, king goes to d4, and it's just miserable for him. Miserable. So anyway, folks, that's one of the decisive games from round 5 of the 4th in a series of FIDE Grand Prix tournaments. I hope you enjoyed it. Even the best in the world slip up, so I feel a little better. And I want you all to remember, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.